I'm still alive! Hi! Welcome back to my YouTube channel, 'tis I, Jujucy. This was kind of an unexpected video because I thought that I would be able to get out the dance vlog this week, but again, I failed. But it's fine, because I've got something planned for y'all. This week, we're gonna make some gluten-free dumplings. Fun fact about me is that I have celiac disease, but that's a different story that we'll get into in a separate video. There are a lot of ingredients when I looked up the dumpling recipe, so make sure that you have all of these, and I'm going to go through them in the video, and then I'm also going to link the recipe in the description below. So the ingredients that you'll need today are King Arthur unbleached all-purpose flour, rice wine, Napa cabbage, scallions. We chose chicken for this, and then some sugar, some cornstarch, salt, garlic, soy sauce, sesame oil, and then, of course, ginger. So the first thing this recipe called for was 3 1/8 cup, or 2 tablespoons, of the flour. Then you add in 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt, and you whisk the flour and the salt together in a bowl. The recipe itself called for 1 cup and 2 tablespoons of boiling water, but A, I don't know why it needed to be boiling because you're just mixing it together anyways, and B, we added about 1/2 cup more because it was too dry. And then eventually, the dough had this consistency. Then you stick the dough to the side for 30 minutes to allow it to rise. While the dough is resting, you want to take your Napa cabbage and cut it in half, and then take one of those halves and chop it into small-ish shredded pieces, and then you want about 1.5 cups of shredded Napa cabbage, or 1 cup regular cabbage if you don't have Napa. We sprinkled about 1/4 teaspoon of salt over the cabbage to let it sit and wilt, but it never really wilted, so I think that you can just skip this step. Now you want to cut up your scallions into finely cut pieces, even though I can't really do it that finely. Then you'll want to measure 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, 2 teaspoons of dark or toasted sesame oil, 1 tablespoon of rice wine, sake or sherry, 2 teaspoons of minced garlic, 1 teaspoon of finely grated fresh ginger, and 1 tablespoon of sugar, and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Then you want to take your mixture and pour it over the Napa cabbage. After you pour the mixture over the cabbage, you want to add in 1 tablespoon of cornstarch, and then you also want to add in the scallions as well. After you mix everything together, this is when you're going to want to add in your meat of choice. We had chicken, so we mixed in the chicken. It looks kind of disgusting, but I promise you, it'll turn out better. Now onto the dough. You want to separate your dough into 6 long pieces, and then take one of the pieces and you roll it out, and you separate that into 6 pieces as well. I would recommend cutting it into 3 pieces instead of 6 because the dough turned out a lot thicker that way, if you like a thicker dumpling, and also you had more space to pack the mixture into. I'm just going to slow this part down for a minute, just so that people can see how I folded the dumpling. If you already know how to fold a dumpling, then you can skip ahead, good for you, but for those of you who don't know how, you can also slow down this video more, and that's how I like to fold it. There are also multiple ways that you can search up on Google. That's how I did it. Next, you want to bring a bowl of water over to the stove that you have and wait for it to boil. The recipe says that you'll make 40 dumplings, but because we doubled up on the dough, we made about 23 exactly. So once your water comes to a boil, you want to put your dumplings in, and you want to set the timer for about 10 minutes, I'd say. Another good indicator is when your dumplings start floating like this.
Delicious. Are you gonna give the camera a thumbs up?
These are pretty good.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, that's the end of the vlog. The dumplings turned out a lot better than I expected. I almost gave up several times when making them. Like, you didn't see it in the video because I cropped it out, but I got angry so many times trying to fold those stupid dumplings. But I put in some time and effort, and it was worth it because it was a lot chewier than I thought it would be. Most gluten-free foods are dry or crispy when you don't want them to be, and then they go stale after 2 days. You do have to heat up the dumplings a couple days after you make them, but I feel like that goes for most foods. Other than that, I'd totally recommend them. It definitely takes some effort, but it's worth it, especially if you haven't had dumplings for a while. So, thank you for watching. Make sure, if you enjoyed the video, to maybe subscribe, maybe like, comment, tell me what you'd like to see next. So, yeah, and if you're new to this channel, welcome.